Hello, my name is Cyan-san, and first off, I want to take the time to thank you for clicking on this video to begin with. This video is about a game called Mycopunk, a mission-based co-op shooter where you battle against dangerous fungus, yes fungus, with an emphasis on weapon customization as well as character upgrades for your selected character. And speaking of which, one of the better places to start would likely be the characters you have the choice of playing at. As of at the time of me recording this, there are 4 robotic misfits for you to choose from, each with their own set of abilities and perks. Starting with the Wrangler, the cowboy star actor that has his own rocket-powered lasso to take him to and away from danger, as well as a simple air dash. The Bruiser, a 4-legged drinker with his deployable shield that pushes away enemies on the other side of it, as well as blocking all projectiles. He also has a super jump ability that, if pressed again while in air, turns into a ground slam. Then we have the helpful lifesaver known as Glider, with her tracking healing rockets that can deal both damage to enemies and heal allies, if they would properly lock on half the time. But she does also have the ability to, well, glide. And finally, Scrapper, a terrorist. That's not a joke. Read the bio real quick. You can pause the video, look. Anyway, Scrapper has a jetpack that allows her to hover in the air for a short amount of time, as well as a grappling point where she creates a tower that by looking at it and hitting your interact key, you'll be able to grapple to the tower spinning around until the little stamina meter at the bottom of your screen goes out, which can also be used by her teammates, not just her. And while these 4 characters may not seem to have much on paper, we'll get more into the weapons and the characters a little later into the video. For now, I'll give a brief overview of what the average mission would look like in this game. First, you load in and choose your character, then take the time to abuse our friend that sits in our hub known as Rochard, and also mess around with a bunch of other things in the hub for likely a lot longer than you should.
I can believe you're backwards and forwards.
Oh my god! Ah! Stop! I'll kick your ass.
Then choose a mission in one of 4 regions, hop in the landing pod, and land on the planet. From there, you go through the mission, doing what you need, whether that be killing stuff, moving stuff, repairing stuff, or using a railgun to demolish a ship in orbit that was likely housing at least 100 people. As well as maybe completing a secondary mission, I guess, I don't know.
Counting it.
We have to launch it, I think.
I'm activating.
Hey, that worked.
I've noticed. Then, once you're done, you call in the pod, kill more stuff while you wait for the pod to land, hop in said upon once it lands, and complete the mission by extracting. You'll then get resources, upgrades, and XP for your characters, your guns, and your overall account. Then, you rinse and repeat in different biomes with other mission objectives, both secondary and main, and on various difficulties for better rewards depending on said difficulties. But with that brief overview done, I do want to talk about the things that make this game stand out to me, and starting with the upgrades that you can get and the potential that comes with being able to create builds from those upgrades. Like for example, the weapon lead flinger, a revolver that has a passive of increasing your reload speed whenever you get a kill or destroy an enemy part, has an upgrade that makes it so that you have to hold down the fire button for a short time before it actually shoots. But it increases the damage greatly to make up for the horribly low rate of fire. Or I have a perk for this gun that changes its secondary beam into a beam that can also heal allies as well as damage enemies, making it into a support weapon, essentially. And these aren't even the craziest upgrades you can get in general. For your character, you can get a double jump, the ability to wall run or hover in the air. You can get things that merely provide a stat buff, which are useful, but you can also get things that completely change the nature of your gun/character and how you would use it. This is for me one of the biggest things that makes this game feel unique. Getting a fun upgrade or just a really good upgrade that can change how you use the character or the gun, even being the thing that gives a new idea for a type of build. Like the character I play the most is the Wrangler. I've added a bunch of perks that increase mobility and just general speed, so while I'm lacking a bit in just overall staying alive, I do have more than enough ways to get away from the enemy so they can't kill me. Most of the time.
Oh my goodness. Look at my eyes, you're gonna be okay. You're gonna be okay.
You're gonna be okay. You're gonna be okay.
There's so many things here.
Where are you? I can hear you.
But this is just the tip of the iceberg for the type of loadouts and builds you can create. There is so much potential for each character, more being added to the weapons and what they can do in combination with the character's perks. There are simple weapons like the assault rifle or the shotgun, but there are also things like the plate launcher, the trident, or even some secret weapons that you can get. There are so many things that make this game work for me. The art style, the music, the gameplay, it all feels weird in a good way that makes this game stand out. This game even has secret missions that remind me of the best parts of Destiny 2. In case you don't want to see or hear about it, you can skip to this time, as I will likely both talk about it a little bit here and have some footage of one of those secret missions now. But it really does remind me of one mission in particular for those who know, the secret Whisper of the Worm mission from Destiny 2. And granted, this is for people that don't know much about Destiny other than probably the big or generalized things. This is a compliment, I promise. But honestly, do you ever just have a game that you're playing and it just feels like it was made to be fun? Like there are things that were put in the game that don't serve a direct purpose for the gameplay loop in particular or the fundamentals of what make the game, but it still is just something that makes it more fun, because that's what I feel like this game has. I feel like that's what this is. It's just fun, you know? And it is still in early access, so it's interesting to imagine where this game will go in the next couple of months to even years. And speaking of which, I do want to take the time to talk about some of my critiques or personal gripes, as well as a wish list of sorts for things that I would like to see in this game. Now, to start off, I'm not a video game designer, you know, this is just me talking from the perspective of someone that plays it. So, you know, take all of this with a massive grain of salt, because I am also just really stupid. The first thing that I would like to talk about is the grid system for the upgrades. Overall, I do like it, and I think it works, but there is one problem that does bother me, which is the fact that you cannot rotate the upgrades that you get to fit it into certain parts of the upgrade node. It can just be kind of infuriating to see how you could fit two upgrades if you could just simply rotate them in order to make them fit like a puzzle piece, but you can't. I don't know if this was intentional as a way to kind of limit what we can have without having to outright nerf our upgrades, kind of as like a soft cap by making it so it's very apparent what we can and can't fit all at the same time. But I genuinely think it would be more fun if we could rotate the nodes in order to have more fit. But ultimately, this doesn't like ruin the game. I just think it would be more enjoyable, add more customization if you had the ability to rotate the upgrades in order to fit them throughout the upgrade nodes in a sort of puzzle-like manner. I do also think that the progression can be quite slow, whether it's leveling your account, your character, your weapons, or even getting Saxon. Now, I will admit, Saxon is meant to be rare, so that doesn't bother me too much, but the general leveling can feel kind of slow, and taking the time to get weapons or level up to get the weapons by having enough resources, it all can just feel a bit slow at times, especially in the early to mid game. While it doesn't ruin the game, I don't think it's terrible. I think some sort of extra progression to kind of fill the gaps between getting weapons or leveling up to get cool new things for your stuff would be nice. Maybe the ability to use resources to slightly upgrade your abilities or your upgrades that you get for the upgrade node, or maybe just using those upgrades, using those abilities, perhaps provides a sort of leveling system, but that doesn't really do much outside of a few extra percentages. But still, I think an extra layer of progression would be nice. The ability to maybe tweak the upgrades we get a little bit would be really good as well, but this is just me spitballing. Ultimately, this isn't that big of a problem, and like I said, I'm not a designer, I'm just a guy that plays games. So take all of this with a grain of salt. But anyway, I do also want to talk about my wish list and things that I would like added to the game. The first thing that came to mind when I thought about what I would like added to this game is a melee character, or a character with a focus on melee damage. Their first ability would be a rocket punch of sorts that you can charge, with the catch being the longer you charge the ability, the slower your movement gets, and the more damage you take from external factors. But the exchange being, the more you charge it, the more damage you dish out, and the farther the distance of your punch will be, with a very high cap on how high you can take that charge to, but you'll take a lot of damage towards the top of the charge. I would like this character to be a close-range melee character with an emphasis on damage and self-sustainability, with the trade-off being a general lack of movement compared to the other characters, so they're a bit on the slower side to make up for the fact that they're able to take so much damage. The next character I think I would like to have in the game, or the next type of character that I think would be cool for the game, would be a sniper-like character with the ability to sort of summon their own sniper weapon as, as one of their abilities. That has the ability to create like a gravity well whenever you like kill an enemy or like break apart, to like kind of group them all together to make using the sniper worth it outside of just like maybe damaging bosses. I would want this character to have stealth-like abilities like invisibility, clinging to walls, or the ability to hover in the air for an extended period of time. Stuff like that I think would be really cool. And finally, I would like a sort of summoner type character. What they summon, I have no idea. Maybe they can summon or create turrets, or they bring back killed enemies from the dead like a necromancer, or maybe they have like a squad of robots that wield a slew of weapons that you can change or customize in a sort of archetype way, like having robots that are more close range with heavier armor and shotguns, or a firing squad that has medium armor and assault rifles, or something like that. I'm not exactly sure on the details, again this is spitballing, but I would really like this type of character. I think that would be very cool. But ultimately, this is all just stuff that I came up with because I thought it would be fun. This is stuff that I was just spitballing when I was thinking about making this video to myself. These are characters and stuff that I would like added to the game, but I'm no designer, I'm no game creator. I haven't talked to anyone from the dev team. I don't know what, the foundations of their gameplay are, what they're looking for, what they're not. This is just me throwing some ideas out there because I think it would be fun. If any of the devs ever see this to begin with, that would be very cool, but I don't expect them to, do any of this. And if they are, they already have their own ideas, they've already fleshed it out, or they already have their own things that they're working with. This is just me having fun doing this. I'm not expecting anyone to take this to heart, I'm not expecting anyone to even watch this video, but I digress. This game has so much potential, and there are so many aspects that make it enjoyable. The music, the art, the game feel, and just the general fun factor, on top of everything that I just spent the past 10 minutes talking about, there are a lot of things to like about this game. And there are things I didn't even talk about, like getting resources and crafting materials and how it all works in conjunction with one another to add its own sense of progression for getting better gear. But what makes this even better is that this game is still in early access, so hopefully there's still so much more to come. And I'm curious to see what this dev team will make. This game isn't perfect, but it is fun, and I hope that the dev team is proud of what they've started here, and I hope they'll do well with what's to come, and I shall be eagerly awaiting what they have to bring to this game, and whatever changes they make, whatever things they add, I hope the best for them. I'm grateful to the dev team for making this game, and I'm grateful for you watching this video. Even though this video isn't exactly good, but thank you for watching this. I hope you have a good day, a good night, and whatever goes on in your life goes right. Thank you for watching. Also, if you guys add a double barrel shotgun to the game like the Doom Super Shotgun, my life will be yours.